Right. In Nigeria and other countries across the world, justice has been one of the most important affairs where state institutions have a mandate to achieve fairness in both civil and criminal proceedings. However, the Nigerian criminal justice system faces the issue of individuals embracing illegal punishment termed mob justice to address public security threats. One of such that sparked nationwide outrage is the gruesome mob killing of 16 northern travelers in Uromi, Edo State. According to reports, they were stopped by local vigilantes who accused them of being kidnappers after seeing over 15 firearms in their vehicles. The Edo State Police Command, as well as President Tinubu and other human rights organizations, have condemned this act and seek justice immediately. Joining us in the studio is security consultant Darlington Umoru. Good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning. I like the enthusiasm with which you welcome the return of Bukayo Saka, and I'm sure you're not doing that because he's a Nigerian. The implication of that enthusiasm, that fire, that flame I saw in you is that you are an Arsenal fan.
No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not start.
As a Chelsea fan, I will always, as a Chelsea fan.
Mr. Can we have this conversation later on?
No, but I like stating the truth.
Because of our time.
No, it does not matter. Our time, we'll still have our time, but let the truth be said.
Okay, thank you.
We're here to speak to truth.
To power, right?
Truth.
Anyway, let's get back to business now, Mr. Umoru. Talking about what happened in Edo State. Uromi 16, that's a hashtag trending on social media and it's been generating a lot of concerns. And there are those who said that these people who killed these 16 wouldn't have done that if there wasn't perhaps a story that has been on behind it, that they have been facing security challenges, and perhaps this is a reprisal as against a mob attack. But give us a background to the issues around these things.
Veronica, I must say this. I've turned down plenty of invitation from the media to discuss this matter. Even yesterday, up until yesterday, I turned down one in one of the electronic media. But I'm sure they'll be disappointed seeing me on TVC discussing the same topic that I have personally said I will not want to talk on, particularly in the media. But well, TVC is my home, my second home.
Thank you.
And I would always want to, breast the tape.
Thank you for honoring us.
To do it. It's painful to discuss. Our basic challenge in this matter, one, aside from the killing, the social media has made the situation worse. The gruesome exposure, display, and killing, recording, and moving from one point to the other, that painful death of human being is what has made this situation worse. Have you ever thought of the families of these persons watching those same gruesome? In Nigeria, sometimes we do some things because we just want to say react. I want to look at this issue from different perspectives. First, is it lawful for you if you caught them with arms? There is a state apparatus that has to do with security. We have had situations where past governments or presidents have said, when you find anybody with an assault rifle, take them out. That are non-state actors, not the state actors here now. But does the law permit us to murder people the way we did in Edo State? And the social media showing all of that to the people in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I think the social media should be regulated. Some of these things should not be allowed. Should not be allowed. Children watching some of those things could get into panic. Many will take away a lot of bad energy from what happened. It is not in the place of anybody or group of persons to gather a number of persons and murder them the way they were done, then set them ablaze. Where's the human conscience?
Right.
That's a bad thing about the whole business.
And then shockingly, let me add, there's tension in the north right now. Those of us who have family members up north, we've been talking. There's agitation. What you call reprisal attack. Yeah. The governor of Edo State, sensing that, quickly ran to Kano State. Yeah. He did not just meet with the governor of the state.
And to see the families.
He's going to meet families. Why? And he's begging to give them compensation. Why? To forestall imminent danger. If it starts up north, there'll be a bigger problem.
So are you saying that's not enough? His move is not enough to stop the reprisal?
That is why he's making the moves. Like I said, he's making those moves to forestall the possible reprisal attacks that could come. You know, and this time may not be limited to a particular tribe. There's danger.
Okay, but let me ask you this question quickly. Mob justice, we've heard about it, jungle justice, people killing people. Some time back, we saw 4 boys in Port Harcourt killed. Now we're seeing this happened. A lot of people are saying that, is it because that we feel that the judicial system is a bit slow? That's why people take power into their hands. Because even still talking about social media being regulated, we want to stop mob justice in Nigeria. We don't want this to keep occurring.
You're dragging me into whether the state security apparatus has failed. They've not really failed. But do we have the equipment and manpower, enough of it, to actually contain the level of insecurity we are experiencing in Nigeria? Don't take it away. Edo State people have suffered over time from the hands of, whether you want to call them the unknown gunmen, or whether you want, I don't like attaching a tribe to it. Because research, I have been a part of research that has disclosed that some of the people who also perpetrate some of these criminal activities are not just from one tribe. So it would be wrong for anybody to generalize and then be specific, you know, attributing insecurity to a particular tribe. We have seen situations where other tribes have been involved. The people in Edo State, recently, about a week or 2 ago, there was also another very bad video where some persons were attacked even in their houses, were dragged out, many of them were killed. Only one, not even women or children, were spared. And these were attributed to the activities of some persons. And so, some persons are believing that the state security arrangement has failed them. And so if they do no longer have that confidence in the state security arrangement as controlled by the federal government, they need to take laws into their own hands. But is that the way out? Is that the solution? There is a constitution. These persons were traveling, you accosted them, you found all of this, you arrested them. They were now helpless. why not quickly hand them over to the security agencies and say, okay, here are the firearms and ammo perhaps we found with them, and here are the men, here's the vehicle of conveyance, and then hand them to the security agencies and then follow.
A lot of people want to attribute all these terrible stories we're hearing to the state of the economy. But the United Nations has parameters to a well-policed state. You know, have we met those parameters as a country?
We cannot meet them. We cannot meet up with that. I'm very well educated or very well schooled in that aspect. Mm-hmm. Nigeria, we have a very large population. We're supposed to have a number of policemen per area or per population. But I said something earlier on. I said, do we really have the manpower? Mm. What is the numerical strength of the Nigerian police? I'm not sure. I say this here now. The Inspector General of Police, as at this hour, has the exact and accurate figure of the number of policemen in Nigeria. Do you know why? Mm. For almost every 24 hours, a policeman is brought down in one part of the country. So that they are maimed or they are killed. How much replacement do we have for all of this? If you look at it now, if you go to the records, what the records will give to you in terms of the numerical strength of the Nigerian police will not be more than 350,000.
For a country that has a population of over 2 million, that is
it fluctuates
under policing.
It fluctuates between 350, 360 down, comes down. It's never stable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's never stable. And so it will be difficult. And then the records also show that we have had times where the police commission and the police themselves have issues about recruitment, about the number of persons they have, and then also you want to also look at those of them that are attached to the VIPs, the VVIPs, the banks, institutions, and all of that taken away from the mainstream.
Yes.
And then from the numerical strength, the general one we have, then you take out the one we call the SPU. Those of them in the SPU,
police units.
This is a special protection units. When you look at them, you find that some VVIP have a minimum of 5 policemen. Some guarding their homes, some following them about, and then some following either their wives and all of that. Several times we've seen at every time a police IG is appointed, one of the common first statements they make is the withdrawal of SPUs. And then we even had situations in this country where some VVIPs would not even respect that order. We have seen it in this country. I'm not exaggerating. By the time Egbedokun leaves office and you bring in Lagbaja to that office, the first thing he will tell Nigeria to want to win the confidence of the masses is to say that we are withdrawing those in SPU, return to barracks immediately, and then let them help themselves. They cannot help themselves, and so it cannot work.
But isn't that why states and even some regions decided to have another level of security operatives? We see what we have, Amotekun, in the south or the west, and then we have Ibubagu at some point in the east. And then another level of security in Edo State that the governor has now disbanded, or he has now withdrawn because of these activities. And then we are also talking about state policing. when you look at these kinds of activities, well, some will say that, okay, these people were not trained and perhaps did not know what they were supposed to do by taking this set of persons that they found to police authorities and decided to take laws in their hands. But we still have this security, this level of security across states. How then do we begin to check their activities if we are seeing things like this happen?
Well, in the first instance, one of the reasons why regions and states have decided on their own to begin to, recruit men and then have them assist the mainstream security arrangement is the fact that they've not been able to be protected sufficiently.
Yeah.
They've lost confidence in the security arrangement as provided by the 1999 Constitution as amended, and the Police Act. Even so, has that helped? Have they been able to contain the level of insecurity? In the West, to an extent. Oh, that's what you think?
Some would say that. Because if you look at what the activities of Amotekun in the West, we've seen them flushing out people out of the forest. Some persons criminal activities in the forest. Isn't that a gain? It's a question.
Well, Veronica, I think I will leave that question. Let me go back to the first question you asked. Because this one, people say, and this, that. Veronica, I don't want you to drag me into the another energy that I don't want to get into this morning. Because I am sad. I am sad because I am looking at if this matter is not very well addressed and well handled. I thank Mr. President for immediately asking that this person should be fished out. That is to say, he's not in support of it.
Absolutely.
I also thank the governor of Edo State, who did not sit in the government house to issue statements, but has gone to meet the families of these persons. If you're talking about what other arrangements by states and regions, the question I asked you was, have we really achieved success in that direction?
I gave an example.
And then the example you gave, has it actually conquered insecurity in where you have those people? We see in churches, these people no longer do not just operate in the forest and on the roads. They visit churches and then take out people and kill people in the West.
Yeah.
And then across the West, how many of the Western states, from the 6 of them, would you find the presence of Amotekun? I'd like you to give me that.
A few. Lagos does not have Amotekun. Yeah.
Lagos has a security arrangement.
Already.
It's quiet. They are not armed. What is their role? Just give information. You find them everywhere on bicycles. They don't bear arms. But what is the state of insecurity in Lagos? Low. It means that arrangement is working. And then in states where you gave firearms to your security arrangement, you are creating more damages. The amount of small arms and large weapons circulating in the hands of non-state actors today is already too many. What you find in the hands of state actors, I've said this here over and over, is just about 10%. The most dangerous thing you can do is to arm somebody, because you would find it difficult to disarm him when you need that. Because that assault rifle or whatever rifle you are giving to him could be used against you. Look at the Lagos State arrangement. I'm not praising anybody in Lagos State. But I'm saying, take a leaf from what you find in Lagos State and move that same arrangement to other states where you don't need to give them weather sticks or assault rifles or any kind of, whether double barrel or what do you call the common one now? You don't need all of that. How has it helped to reduce insecurity is the question I have asked. Northwest, we have bandits. We have terrorists, kidnappers. North Central, we have the issue of the farmers' elder clash across the North Central, aside from Niger State. Isn't that correct? Northeast, you have the core terrorist groups operating. ISWAP, Boko Haram, Sambisa Forest, down. Northwest, Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, Kano out. Southwest, sometimes we hear Ondo State particularly at the hub of it. That is the center of Amotekun. Yeah. Down to Lagos, we don't have Amotekun, we have another security arrangement that is working for the state. That is just to make calls. They have a way of passing on information when there's crisis. I think one was foiled recently and persons were arrested in Lagos. You only hear little of all of that. All of these are arrangement by all of these people. You talked about training. Are they well trained? Do they have the
requisite skill?
The requisite skill to handle all of that, to handle the rifle and then to carry out all of this. Well, we have people who are at their tops, who are heading them, who are supposed to help in training them and give directives as to how they should go. But one thing we must learn to stop. We are facing terrorists already. It's enough crisis. Should we continue to kill ourselves? There's still law. If we feel that the state has disappointed us, what do? We have our representatives at the National Assembly. Why not cry to them and tell them to help us? We need help. The masses need help from the hands of the terrorists, from the hands of the bandits. They need help. But in the course of frustration, do you take laws into your own hands?
That's a big question.
Next question, because a lot of people have said that people that engage in killing people, mob justice, is because they are unaware of what is going on. They don't even understand the Constitution. They don't know what is happening. So the question is, how well can we make them understand that when you see something like this, the first thing to do is not to attack? They need to understand that this is what the Constitution says. You need to take this thing to the right authority. And just like what I said in the beginning, how are we ensuring them that, okay, yes, when you bring these things to us, the urgency will be there? Because people feel like there's no urgency when they take these things. So what I want to know is that how can we educate them that there's a Constitution? Because most of them are really unaware of what's going on.
The first thing is, how do we dissuade them from frustration? How do we take off frustration from them? I think that's the first thing we need. The people are frustrated. They feel that they are not being protected. And so here, the government is in charge of security arrangements. And so it boils down to how much the government can interface with the people and then educate them, and then reach out to them to tell them how much they are doing, on daily basis to try and contain, this insecurity. But my challenge is this. I said this here the last time. What is fueling basically insecurity in Nigeria is the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. We have too much of it in the society, in the hands of the non-state actors. First, what we need to do is to uproot the problem from its roots. Take it out from its roots. And how do you take that out from its roots? You have to ensure that you are able to stop the inflow of illicit firearms and ammunition that are coming into the country. And there's an agency responsible for that is supposed to totally attend to that. I said this here the last time I was here, and that agency is the Nigerian Customs Service. You also have the Nigerian Immigration Service. Theirs is to monitor individuals that are coming in. Then these same individuals perhaps could be those carrying in these firearms. And so there's supposed to be a synergy. But basically we have too many illegal routes. But I do not want to subscribe to the fact that because we have those illegal routes, things cannot be done to checkmate the movement of some of those things, even through those illegal routes. What about the legal routes? Are we saying that they are doing everything they are supposed to do beyond raising money for the Nigerian government? Because basically the concentration is how much they are able to raise for the Nigerian government. You know, it's one of their mandates. It's one of their mandates. But the act that set up that body is, provides for that. But even so, I think they need to do more. If those are the border points are not giving us the required result, look inwards. Get some other men to replace those ones, and then keep trying, and then add technology. Add technology. Now here, we do not have enough electricity supply. But we can have the UAVs. We can have the UGAVs, to use to monitor these areas. We can also have surveillance aircrafts, that you can use permanently to move around this area. And then you must know the times these people could be moving across. And then you focus more of your attention in those places. And then you look at your system. Until two things, we are able to first cut supply to these non-state actors. Two, disarm them. Throw in programs, incentives that could discourage them and help them submit most of these equipment in their possession. You have to reduce. You cannot completely arrest every small arm and light weapons in this society, but you can reduce it. We saw that at a point in time. Yeah. And then we also saw at another point in time where a former president of this country said he was overwhelmed. We saw that. And then we are seeing the efforts of the current administration. But my challenge is, you're fighting insecurity, you're deploying men to fight insecurity, you are equipping these men to fight insecurity as against what we used to have and all of that. Yet, these non-state actors are still not short of supply of their equipment.
Unfortunately, we do not have time to continue this conversation, but a lot has been said, and we can only hope, like you rightly pointed, that every effort being put in place by the federal government and even the state government at addressing reprisals from the issue that happened in Edo State wouldn't happen and will succeed at the end of the day. Thank you so much, security consultant Darlington Umoru, for your time on the program. Thank you.
My pleasure, even though I'm not a happy man this morning.
We understand. All right, still ahead on TVC Breakfast, the Governor of Edo